Hello everybody. So today we will be discussing all about the third law of motion. At the end of the lesson, you should be able to discuss what the third law of motion is, and you should be able to understand that when a body exerts a force on another, an equal amount of force is exerted back on it. Third, you should determine which is the action force or the reaction force at a given scenario. So what do the three photos on the screen have in common? The first photo is about a girl that is sitting on a chair. Second is about a book that is resting at the top of the table. And the last one is a car that is parked on a parking lot. So what is common among the three photos? All of them, or all of the objects, are at rest. So in all the three cases, there are bodies that exert force on one another. You may not be aware of it, but while sitting down, forces may also be present. Obviously, you exert a downward force on the chair, which is equal to your weight, and the chair also exerts an upward force on you. The same is true with the book and the table, and the car and the ground. Each of them exerts force on one another in opposite direction. Now, all of these scenarios can be explained by Newton's third law of motion. So in some cases, this law is called the law of action-reaction or the law of interaction. So let's get back to the examples that I have given earlier. So let me just pull up my laser so that we can discuss it properly. Okay, so as you can see here, so the girl is exerting a force, downward force, which is equal to her weight. And at the same time, for the girl to be at rest and to not fall down, the chair exerts the equal amount of force that is being exerted by the girl. So this force that the girl exerts, we call this the downward force or the action. And the force that is being exerted back by the chair is what we call the reaction force or the upward force. So what will happen if the forces are not equal? For example, the forces that is being exerted by the girl is more than or much more than the force that is being exerted back by the chair. What do you think will happen? Of course, the object or the girl will not be at rest because she might be able to fall down. Very good. Now let's take a look at the second example, which is the book and the table. So in order for the book to be at rest, there should be equal amount of force being exerted. So the amount of force that is being exerted by the book should be reacted with an equal set of amount of force by the table. Next is the car and the ground. So as we can see, it is still at rest. So as you can see, as you observed on the streets before lockdown, vehicles can also be at rest. So if the amount of force is unequal, again, the objects will not be at rest. So again, the amount of force being exerted by the car is what we call the downward force or the action force, while the amount exerted by the ground, which is opposite, is what we call the reaction force or the upward force. So the law of action-reaction or the law of interaction states that for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Again, The law of action-reaction, or the law of interaction, states that for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Now, let us have an activity and we will check if you really did understand how the third law of motion works. So kindly answer the activity that I have set for you under this slide.